DVD time! Ahoy hoy everybody, and welcome to the next part in my look at my DVD collection. Previous parts available on the playlist. Let's get cracking. First up we have the first Poison Ivy film. In the end there was 4 of these. Yes, which I do have all of them. This is probably the best cinematically. Others got saucier. But this starred Drew Barrymore as Ivy, who infiltrates her way into the family of her best friend, played by Sarah Gilbert. And she seduces her father, which is basically more or less the plot of most of them-ish. Well, it's a plot of 3, really. 2 is a teacher rather than her father. And 4 is just bizarre. But yeah, it's a good film. Brilliant performance by Drew Barrymore in that. This is Tim Burton's Big Fish. Tim Burton, one of my favourite directors. I think I've got practically everything of his, if not everything. Really like this film. It's not the sort of film you'd really associate with Tim Burton, but it is very Tim Burton. If that makes, when you think of Tim Burton, you think of things like, you know, Batman and Edward Scissorhands and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and the fantasy. Although this has got a fantasy element, it's a bit more down to earth. But then again, it's not. It's hard to describe. But if you haven't seen Big Fish, watch Big Fish. This is Ken Russell's version of The Rainbow. I've shown a previous copy of The Rainbow, which was the BBC adaptation. This is the Ken Russell's film adaptation of it. As I mentioned there, I'm a big fan of D.H. Lawrence's work being filmed. I've read a little bit of it, but I always enjoy films of his stuff, and particularly The Rainbow and Women in Love. So this is, as I say, The Rainbow, which is the prequel to Women in Love, actually. Not Love, actually. It's a prequel to Women in Love, actually. And this stars Sammy Davis, Paul McGann, Amanda Donohoe, Glenda Jackson. Yeah, very good. It's Robert Altman's Pret-a-Porter, which is his look at the fashion world. What is it, 3 hours plus? As most. Oh no, actually quite a short one for him. It's only 2 hours 7 minutes. Very Altman-esque film. Lots of interweaving storylines. It's not his best work. Shortcuts is better for a start. And then, obviously, Popeye, in my opinion, as I've mentioned before. It's good soundtrack, including Prince. But yeah, it's an enjoyable film. This is a film I love. This is Single White Female, starring Bridget Fonda and Jennifer Jason Leigh. This film launched the phrase single white female, if you like, for describing somebody who tries to take over somebody's life. Just a really, really good film. This is Free and Out. This was quite a controversial film, which it shouldn't have been. This was sort of Mackenzie Crook's big break after leaving, or after The Office finished. He plays a London tube driver, and through bad luck, he has 2 people kill themselves by jumping in front of his train. And apparently there's a rule that if it happens a 3rd time, you get early retirement and 10 years salary. So he's trying to persuade somebody he's trying to find somebody who's relatively suicidal and try and persuade them to be the 3rd one. But it's a comedy. You know, it's very strange, but it's enjoyable. An early appearance by Gemma Arterton as well, who's one of my favourite actresses. And yeah, I've really enjoyed it, but yeah, it's a bit bad taste. Conan the Barbarian, first Conan film. A classic. Obviously Arnie. James L. Jones, the lovely Sandal Bergman, who I've met and who was lovely. This is a special edition with commentary by the director John Milius and Arnie, which I think I've listened to. But Arnie's commentaries are always bizarre. A lot of the time he's just telling you exactly, and this is where I come on screen, and this is... no, that sounds nothing like him. All sorts of bits on there, but yes, it's Conan the Barbarian. This is a double pack of the 2 Crocodile Dundee movies. In a sort of fake crocodile skin sleeve, and then... I'm trying to remember how these come out. It says pull, but what happens when you pull? Oh, it's a bit stuck, that was all. Oh yeah. I forgot about that. I'm just going to sit here and do this for hours now. Something very satisfying about that. Yes, saw the first Crocodile Dundee in the cinema. Absolutely classic film, very funny. Second one, not as good, but still enjoyable. But yeah. Yes, simple things. This is Scary Movie 3. I think I've shown you certainly one of the previous ones. I can't remember how many of these there are in total. I've certainly owned the first 3. They're just fun. They're not, amazing, but they're fun spoofs of horror films. Oh, this is Scary Movie 2, so I must have shown you the first one before. Ditto. This is Chrome Skull. This is a lovely little shiny slip on this. This is a hit horror. It's a funny little film. It's quite low budget. It stars Thomas Dekker, who is probably best known for playing John Connor in the Sarah Chronicles. And it was sort of filmed concurrently while he was doing that. So Lena Headey's in it as well, which is the main reason I picked this up. Although she's not... Or is she? Oh... Part of me saying there's 2 films, and one of them she's in and one of them she's not, and this one might be one she's not. I can't remember, to be honest. Danielle Harris as well appears in this, who I'm a fan of. It's quite a good film. I actually spoke when I met Thomas Dekker. I spoke to him about it. And the guy who plays his best friend in it is certainly his best friend. He might be more than that. And he sort of introduced me to him as well. But yeah, it's a typical schlocky horror film, but it's enjoyable. This is Lipstick on Your Collar. This is the Channel 4 drama by Dennis Potter. How many episodes? 6 episodes, I think it was. It's set in wartime. Typical Dennis Potter, mixing music and film. Hard to describe, but they're in the War Office, and he moves in with his aunt and uncle. Private Hopper, played by, in a minute I'll find his name and I'll go, oh yeah, Giles Thomas. And living upstairs is Louise Germain's character. No. Wrong. Ewan McGregor is Private Hopper, who works in the War Office. A new colleague is Private Francis, who is a Welsh guy, played by Giles Thomas, who moves in with his aunt and uncle, I think it is. And in the flat above, or their lodger who lives above, is... I can't remember the character name, but the lovely Louise Germain, and he falls in love with her, but she's in an abusive relationship with a guy who they also work with, sort of tangled. Sylvia, that's a character name. And it's sort of intertwining about the relationships between all of them, and yeah, but it's really, really good. This is one of my favourite TV shows ever, dramas, whatever you want to call it. The Crimson Petal and the White. I just absolutely loved this series. It stars Romola Garai, who's a prostitute and a local businessman falls in love with her and takes her out of it, and she becomes a governor to his children, and his wife's seriously ill, and it's just an intertwining storyline, and it doesn't sound exciting and riveting, but it's just wonderful series. Excellent cast. Romola Garai, Chris O'Dowd, Gillian Anderson, Mark Gatiss, Amanda Hale, Richard E. Grant, Shirley Henderson. Yeah, just really good. How are we doing? A couple more. This is Sky Captain in the World of Tomorrow, which I've watched once and I enjoyed it, and I've never bothered watching again. This is the 2-disc special edition in a nice little slip. Yeah, you're probably familiar with it. It was quite a big deal at the time, largely because it was all green screen and, you know, all of it done completely with special effects for backgrounds and so basically everything other than the people, and a few props. Gwyneth Paltrow, Jude Law, Angelina Jolie, Giovanni Ribisi, Bai Ling, Omid Jalili, Michael Gambon. Yeah, it's sort of an adventure-y, rompy, Bigglesy type film, but with a sort of sci-fi twist. This is Churchill the Hollywood Years. So this is the sort of a spoof depicting Churchill as an American GI played by Christian Slater. I do mean Christian, yeah. Who falls in love with Queen Elizabeth, played by Neve Campbell. And then it's got lots of classic British comedy actors in it, like John Coleshaw, Bob Mortimer, Rick Mayall, James Dreyfus, Steve Pemberton, Phil Cornwell, Sally Phillips. Yeah, it's really fun. It's, you know, it's not a classic film, but it's a lot of fun. Let's leave that there, then we should get another 2 parts out of this shelf. So, yeah, thank you for watching. As I've said at the start, you can watch previous parts on the playlist. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in another video. Thanks, bye.